Hola tout le monde, I'm automobilifan. Welcome back to the channel. So welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're doing very well. And I'm here now to talk about my top 10 supercars or hypercars that I have ever seen in my life. But before we continue with that, as I told you in my really first video about my model supercar collection, there was a car that wasn't in that video because I decided to customize it. So here is, this car is a Motor Max Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, but now, well, that's what it was, but now it is the one-of-one Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera Bicolore. As you can see, it looks pretty cool, and well, it's like a new addition in my collection. And the other new member of my collection is this particular car, which is the Bugatti Veyron by Auto Art. That's pretty cool. And if you were wondering why do I have this, it's because yesterday I was playing with my dog, and as you can see, I lost the game. I just wanted to say that because it could be kind of weird to see like something like this in my face. But without further ado, let's continue with the video. So as you must know, sometimes it's pretty hard to define or to decide which are the best cars that you can see in your life. But I tried to find the top 10 that I consider that are pretty iconic, special for me, but at the same time very special all around the world. So let's go with the number 10, and that one is the Porsche Carrera GT. As you must know, the Porsche Carrera GT was launched back in 2003, and it was one of the most iconic cars from Porsche, because you know it had that manual transmission, that V10 engine, which is pretty cool. And actually that car was like the father of the current 118 Spider, which is the current hypercar now in Porsche. And I saw it in a dealership, but unfortunately the dealership was closed, so I just couldn't. So at that moment I just saw like the back of the car, but I mean it counts. It's a Porsche Carrera GT. And if we talk about the price of the Porsche Carrera GT, when it was launched, it was around $440,000. But now, if you want to buy one, maybe you will find it in around $900,000. So it's kind of $1 million car, but definitely I think that car will increase its value in future. The number 9, I will say that is the 2016 Ford GT. You know, the Ford GT is pretty iconic in the history of the brand and in the history of racing, because you know that fight between Ford and Ferrari in the last century was amazing, because there was a lot of people who said that Ford was the winner and other people that Ferrari was the winner, not just in terms of the positions in the race, but in terms of the aerodynamics, the design, and everything. So it's pretty cool, and I think that particular Ford GT that I saw in Canada is the perfect combination between the legacy of Ford and the new technologies. And the price of that Ford GT, I'm not pretty sure, but I think that car when it was launched was around $600,000. But I think that car will increase its value as well, and you will find it around $1 million in future. And now the number 8 is the Ferrari Enzo. You must know, back in 2002, Ferrari launched the iconic Ferrari Enzo, and that was an amazing moment, you know, a car with the name of the founder of the brand, Enzo Ferrari. And you know, that car is a really iconic because it belongs to the group of the top supercars or hypercars from Ferrari. You know, now we have the LaFerrari, but at that time was the Ferrari Enzo. And if we keep moving to the past, we will find the F50, F40, and you know, some others. But I think the Ferrari Enzo shows perfectly the essence and the DNA of Ferrari, of the Scuderia Ferrari as well. And I saw that car in Paris. When I saw it, it was in the year 2008, something like that. I was pretty young. I didn't even have a cell phone at the time. But when I remember that I saw the Ferrari Enzo, so that was pretty cool. And talking about the price of the Ferrari Enzo, when it was launched, the price was around $750,000. But now I think the value of this car has increased a lot, because if you want to buy one, maybe you will find it around $3 million. So that's pretty cool. And the number 7 is the Mercedes SLR McLaren Stirling Moss. You know, that car was pretty cool, and they only produced 75 units worldwide, and it's pretty rare to see those cars because, you know, maybe you will never see that car on the track, but it's a car that you will see as a member of a really big car collection, and it's pretty cool. You know, it doesn't even have a roof, and you know that V8 sounds amazing. And when I saw that car, I was in Mexico City, and I'm showing you these pictures of the Stirling Moss, which are not of mine. I just found it on the internet, because at that time I didn't even have a cell phone as well as with the Ferrari Enzo, but I just wanted to let you know which car I'm talking about. And talking about the price of that car, when it was launched it was around $910,000, but now as the Ferrari Enzo, you will find it around $3 million. So once again, the value has increased a lot. And then the number 6 is a car that I do really like, because it's Lamborghini, and well, it was the Lamborghini Centenario. You know, the Lamborghini Centenario was launched back in 2016, and it was a tribute to the founder of the brand, Ferruccio Lamborghini, and they only produced 20 units worldwide, and I saw one of those, and as you can see in the pictures, the combination between that grey and those red accents looks amazing. I do really love this car, and you know, it was pretty iconic because at that time they were celebrating the 100th birthday of Ferruccio Lamborghini, but unfortunately he died many years ago. But that car is just amazing, and the design is just stunning. You know, everything in terms of the aerodynamics looks pretty cool. And talking about the price, the car was around $2 million when it was launched. Of course, it depends on the configuration of the car, but it's pretty cool. And that car, I saw it in Mexico City as well as the Stirling Moss. And then the number 5 is the amazing McLaren P1. And as you must know, the McLaren P1 is a member of the Holy Trinity. You know, that's those hypercars which are hybrid. And of course, a part of the McLaren P1, there's a Ferrari LaFerrari and the Porsche 918 Spider. But what really makes this car very special for me is that when I saw it, the first images that I saw of that car was at that time when I was starting to become a really supercar fan, and when I saw the design of that car was wow. I said like, whoa, this is a new generation of McLaren, because before that they were only producing the McLaren P4 12C, which is like this one, but with the McLaren P1 definitely McLaren came back with something amazing, and something that definitely continues the legacy of the iconic McLaren F1. And as you must know, they only produced 375 units worldwide, and I saw one of those. And when I saw that car, I was in Canada, particularly in Vancouver. And now if you want to buy a McLaren P1, you will find around $1.5 million, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But that was like the same kind of price when it was launched. Then now we have the number 4, which is the iconic Bugatti Veyron 16.4, just as this one. And as you must know, the Bugatti Veyron represents a new era in terms of the hypercars, because it was the first production car that went over 400 kilometers per hour. So that's pretty cool. They had the world record for many years, and you know, when that car was launched, everyone was talking about it, because that W16 engine, over 1000 horsepower, the price was around $1.7 or $1.9 million. So that was amazing, you know. So when I saw that car, I was pretty excited about. And this is the picture I took of that car. I know it's not the best picture, but I think it counts because it's a Bugatti. And when I saw that car, I was in New York, and that was pretty cool, you know. That's the second Bugatti that I have ever seen in my life. And now I'm showing you a picture which is not mine, but I searched on the internet trying to find this particular Bugatti. And the number 3 is the world record Koenigsegg Agera RS. You know, the Koenigsegg Agera RS is a member of that hypercar company, which is Koenigsegg Automotive, which builds some of the fastest cars around the world. And when I saw that car, it was the official world car record, because Koenigsegg made a world record back in 2017, October 2017, and when I saw this Agera RS, it was in March 2018 in Vancouver, Canada as well. And you know, at that time was the fastest car in the world. But everything here about the aerodynamics, the acceleration, all the carbon fiber is just amazing and representative in terms of how the technology has been evolving in the history of Koenigsegg and the hypercar industry as well. And this car is pretty cool because they only produce 25 units worldwide, and I saw one of them, and the price of the car was around $2.5 million. Of course, once again, it depends on the configuration of the customer, but it's like the average price of this particular car. Now the number 2 is the Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport. You know, Bugatti, once again, this is the convertible version of the Bugatti 16.4, and they only produce 58 units worldwide, and I saw one of them as well. And you can see the color of this car. It's not pretty sporty, but I think it looks pretty luxurious. And it was amazing when I saw it. It was my very first Bugatti in my life. So I spent over a half an hour just taking a look at the car, because you know, it's a Bugatti, and it was amazing. And as you can see in the picture of the Bugatti, you can see the Koenigsegg Agera RS, because I saw those two cars at the same time in Vancouver, Canada. So that was pretty cool. And the price of the Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport was around $2 million, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Of course, once again, the configuration, it's what defines that part. And now it's time for the number 1, guys. Guess what? I'm talking about the Koenigsegg Agera RS1. It's another member of those 25 units that were produced. But I have heard many things about this particular car, especially because it has been traveling all around the world. You can see pictures of this car in London, I think in Paris, in Dubai, in Canada, in LA. So, and this car was special because it was, as you can see in the name, RS1. It was the very first unit of this production, and because of that, I don't even know why, many people are saying that that car, when it was launched, was around $2.5 million, but now if you would like to buy that car, which is something that's impossible now because the owner really loves it, but if you would like to buy it, the value of this car is around $10 million. That's a lot of money because it is a really famous car. As I told you, it has been traveling around the world. There are many famous people who have seen this car, and of course, as I said, it's member of the Agera RS production, so it's a world car record. So that's pretty cool. So that's it, guys. Those are my top 10 hypercars that I had ever seen in my life. Of course, this list could change in future. I'm really looking forward to see a Pagani in the real life, maybe a Rimac, maybe the Pininfarina Battista, or some other Bugattis and McLarens, Koenigseggs, Lamborghinis. But well, we will see in future. But I hope you really like this video, guys, and please let me know in the comment section which are your top 10 hypercars or supercars that you've ever seen in your life. So if you like the video, guys, you know what to do, and once again, I'd be very grateful if you go on subscribe and turn on those post notifications for more future videos like this. Of course, I'm going to be reviewing each of my model cars, and of course, we're going to be reviewing some real supercars. We just reviewed in the last video the iconic Aston Martin Vantage Roadster, and there's a really special surprise which is coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. Once again, guys, thank you so much and hope to see you soon. Thank you.